So, Chua is through 10-2 over Niels Fire. Said he will play Philip Gorst or Michael Bohannon. Gorst and Bohannon will be our next match, centre stage. As for the winner of the match we're watching right now, Yap or Filler will take on, or Estonia's Denis Grabe. In our junior final, Jack Beggs finds himself on the hill. He leads Martin Maroza 9, or should I say 8-3 in a race to 9. The break, Jeremy, is so important, especially for someone as proficient at potting as Philip. He can rattle off the rest of the racks in this match if he gets the break going.
Yeah, he sure can. He's, of course, got to get those shots, but remember his last, it was a dry break after he broke his first few. After he broke adding a hair of speed his first few. I like him adding a hair of speed as well.
Current score is 7-4 in favor of Mr. Yap. Rack number 12. Mr. Filler. Current score is 7-4 in favor of Mr. Yap. Mr. Filler to break.
Talk about a quick one to get back. Should be 7-5 here shortly. He'll certainly attack with this 2-9. That's the type of combo you don't really want to roll it. But if you shoot it with a little speed, I think the only miss is the overcut, to be fair. John Lehman getting in position just because he's queuing over the 4.
Attention, please.
Just like his other combo earlier in the match, it just about squeezes in. 7-5. Filler might be on the comeback trail. in Atlantic City it is, even in the quarterfinals, a clash of titans. Singapore against Germany, Aloysius Yap against Joshua Filler. Yap led 7-3, but very quickly Filler's right back in the
Bracket
reckoning.
number 13, our current score is 7-5 in favor of Mr. Yap. Mr. Filler to break.
It's amazing when we miss the one, it's usually low. It's been high for these guys on that top jaw. Talk about a tough push-out situation.
Push-out cold.
Oh my goodness, where does he go with this? Strange face there from Josh Filler.
Well, most push-outs give you brain ache. This one, even more than normal.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the one's connected to the 7. You can't push out to where you can see all the 1. You're going to get hemmed up. Maybe surrender ball in hand. And again, it just gets back to all those situations you can't predict, you can't practice. You just got to go with the gut, what knowledge you have. It's going to be something that's difficult. I wouldn't doubt he gets it back, whatever it is.
Filler, your option?
Filler comes to the table, as they used to say in snooker. Is he wasting his shoe leather? Should he have stayed in his chair?
Yeah, the only thing I see is maybe playing off the edge of the 1 and running the cue ball. Let the 1 go off the 7 down towards the 5, maybe. Try and go back upstairs. I mean, all the balls around, and anytime you have several collisions, you can try and predict as much as you can, but hard to predict at all. So I'd have to pass this if I'm Josh. Just don't really see any point.
Filler's fellow countryman Martin Rosa has just pulled 1 rack back in the junior final. He trails Jack Beggs 8-4.
Is there a backdoor, like a back cut 1-7 combination that's on offer? I think it was definitely always get back to Mr. Yap.
Yeah, had to look into, he had to go through due process, but yeah, that was always going back.
We used to say in the pool room, you got to satisfy your stake horse, Phil. You got to at least look like you're putting up the effort.
Extension, please.
They require a few more extensions that Yap doesn't have. He's going to have to make a decision pretty quick, because no matter what he does, it's going to be a delicate execution. Again, the only thing I see is trying to run off the 1, back up table, let the 1 go off the 7 towards the 5. Still a lot could go wrong. Yeah, great shot. All things considered, he'll take it, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Use of check side was pinpoint.
Yeah, use of check side from distance and the thin hit, and a lower right corner pocket looming. Nerves are high, you could easily mishit that ball. Do you keep it simple and just bank this back down and go into the 6 with a cue ball? Just leave some distance.
Attention, please.
He's elevated. So he's trying to maybe draw behind 3-1 way. Yeah, you better hope this settles on the rail to get a little bit of a bounce. Yap's got a shot.
2 shots ago, Joshua Filler was very much the favourite. Status is gone.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I really don't know what he was trying with that shot. Was he trying to leave the cue ball behind the 3? He easily banked the 1 up to the top rail. Does he have to go into the 4 here? He tried to get by it. I think he tried to go into the 4. Watch out for the scratch. bury it. This 3-6 is playable.
He couldn't bury it, but Filler most certainly could.
Wow, he tried to go with a high ball to avoid that combination. Hard to second guess Josh Filler, really ever. But I thought he had iced the two at least with the draw stroke and, you know, kind of evaluate on the combination on the 3-6. Lucky to leave this as tough as it is. Yap's getting down quickly, and I'm not sure where he's going with it. You're trying to bang it around for safe, but he'll take it. Rails underneath this, let the cue ball slide towards the green 6. Beautiful hit. Beautiful. It's a little applause from Josh Filler.
Yeah, not as spectacular as that jump shot from earlier, but that was equally on the nose.
And that's the kind of things I was talking about earlier when, you know, you're not going to have Yap give it to you. He's going to make the prudent play very often. Wants the cue ball to come across the 3, continue up to the top rail as the 3 comes back down. He caught it on the wrong side. He needs to pray not to give a shot.
It's been an awkward rack all way.
Yeah, I wonder if the 7 helps him here pocket this 3 in the side. That way he can level out, come to the bottom rail and back up. Or does he have to take the 3 on in the corner?
I'll repeat, it's been an awkward rack all round.
Yeah, he caught the point. Cut the 3 to the pocket. Watch it hit the left side a little bit. And that's why the cue ball was a little thin off the 3 and caught. That shows that imagination kicking at the ball again. Been superb so far.
occasionally you get racks like crop up. It's Freaky Friday.
And he's just going to coast up the left side, try to use the 9. That's a little light again, I think. We got there.
They've started on table 3. Ko Ping-Yi has taken the first rack from Denis Grabe. This one, anyone's guess.
Yeah, he's going to jump this, trying to hit his left side, bring the cue ball back down on the bottom cushion. Maybe the 5 goes into the 8. Maybe flukes something in, but it's all about leaving distance. Oh, he tried to bank it. Interesting.
Surely now, after multiple innings for both, surely now fella's going to get in and put back. Quickly, it's 2-0 for Ko Ping-Yi over Denis Grabe.
Man, I feel like Josh is pressing a little bit. Have you ever seen him down on a ball that long, like he was on the 5 there? Really trying to make sure, no mistake here, to try and tighten this score, see if he can get the break worked out.
He's not in the mythical zone, but he's so good he can win matches when he isn't in the zone.
Yeah, he's close to this. I thought he'd just pinch it and take the cut shot on the 9. Could try to move it back and forth. Took the short side. Pretty smart.
After losing 5 racks in succession, Joshua Filler has now won 3 on the trot. He trails by only 1 at 7-6. The finals now well advanced. We know that Johan Chur is through to the semi-finals. Ko Ping-Yi has made a good start. Still to begin, Fedor Gorst and Michael Bohannon. But as I say, the star of the night so far, Chur, dominant against Niels Feyen. And afterwards, we caught a word.
Oh, Johan Chua, I am here with you. You just defeated Niels Feyen 10 games to 2. Welcome to the Final 4. How'd you play?
Oh, I played really well. I broke a lot of, like maybe 5 racks on him, and I'm very fortunate. I got a lot of lucky rolls, like five racks as well. So I'm really happy that I passed through it.
Yeah, you guys are really good at taking after your countryman, Efren Reyes, when you say you got lucky. I don't know how lucky you continue to get, but you continue to get better and stronger as time goes on. I don't want to predict this, but are you looking to win the next match or the entire event next?
Well, of course, my first semi, 1 game at a time, so 1 match at a time first. So I'm just gonna take care of my semifinals tomorrow, and let's see how it goes.
Excellent, Johan. Welcome to the Final 4.
The unmistakable voice of Scott Frost, who will be commentating with Carl Boys on our other quarter-final. Centre stage this evening, Fedor Gorst and Michael Bohannon. But there's unfinished business here.
Rack number 14. Current score is 7-6 in favor of Mr. Yap. Mr. Filler to break.
Potentially 6 racks left in this match, and who's to say it won't go to the wire?
He's got a shot, he's got the 1 down. Definitely a missable 2. Get into it a little bit to get on the 3. But we're definitely odds on favorite to have a tied match here shortly. type of match that, you know, if the purple 5 wasn't there, this really becomes a cupcake, this 2-ball. But now he's got to get into it a little bit. It's easy to pull it off the rail. Got to elevate a hair. Can't afford to go forward. You know, when Josh is rolling, right, and when, like you were talking about that mythical zone that he gets in way too often, it seems like. We just look at these like no problem, but at the moment I just don't get that feeling. Really snatchy with the stroke there. Very, very unlike Josh.
Yeah, normally he's the epitome of, of smooth on that kind of shot, but you're right, it wasn't a good delivery of the cue at all.
Both players have shown that a couple times that they weren't happy. Make or no make. Kind of slow roll this bank. The lefty knowing he could reach this from this long rail. It's like he's falling where he's got to cheat a bit though.
Definitely swung back towards Yap.
Yeah, well, this race to 10, I mean, well, it seems like both of them have gotten better at the break. Yap certainly has. Let a few get away, but this one's certainly in hand and could get to the heel before the ad break.
There is a smattering of applause from table 3. I'll tell you why in a second. It's because Køping-Yi, after that 10-2 victory over Jason Shaw this afternoon, now leads Denis Grabe 3-0.
All right, big shot. Didn't get the cue ball exactly where he wanted, but the 7's pretty handy and the 8, 9 are fairly open. That was dead center. That'll make him feel good. Perfect speed on the cue ball, which is usually the case.
He just loves competing in the USA. He's won in New York, in Michigan, in Virginia. And towards the end of the year, he's going to try and win the International Open title for the 3rd successive staging. But the title he wants most is the live SB.io US Open. And he's taken another significant step, at least towards the semi-finals. 2 racks away from victory is Aloysius Yap at 8-6. Yeah, I was working it out earlier. He's trying to win his 7th World 9-ball Tour title.
Yeah, pretty incredible in that international that Phil brought up. That tournament's no joke, apart from our open events. Probably the biggest event calendar.
And he's coming off a terrific performance in Florida. He was 9-7 down to Mickey Krause in the semi-finals. Gutted that one out to win 11-9, and then he defeated Shane Van Boening 13-10 in the title match. Results like that against opponents of that ilk give you enormous confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what these great players do, and I think it's pretty much any sport, and it's of course individual sports more so, you get very involved in yourself, finding and kind of forgetting about your opponent as much as you can. You know, you can't unsee Josh Filler and what he's done, but the more you put in that time and get those wins, you start to forget about everybody else a bit.
We've just seen the junior championship here. Of course, Aloysius Yap, former world junior champion.
Rack number 15, current score is 8-6 in favor of Mr. Yap. Mr. Yap to break.
When he won that world junior title, it was in 2014. In the subsequent decade, he's emerged as one of the very best.
Yeah, the 1 down. Not quite the energy into the rack as we've seen. And now a big decision on the 2-ball. I don't think it passes the 7, or at least not comfortably. Bottom in, back cut to the corner he's near. That's kind of what he's sizing up at the moment, is that back cut. He's not going to overlook some easy safeties, though, especially if they're on the menu. I think they are. Probably burns his extension here. This shot as big as any.
Attention, please.
These players are close. They feel like accuracy, of course, is at a premium. And okay, you can tell he's not going thin here, so maybe rolling behind the ball, maybe the purple. I don't think that's what he wanted. So he's definitely left an opening. The only reason I feel like he could have missed his mark there is trying to control the 2-ball a bit. That may have misled the cue ball.
Lots of mutual respect in this match. High stakes, and I think that's led to a few blunders from both. Players always say they try to play the table. They want to play the table. But human nature dictates that you play the opponent as well, and you play the situation.
Yeah, and sometimes the situation plays you, Phil. That's what happens in these majors. Saw it last year, the World Championships. Really a lot of tight arms with that big money on offer. And of course, the title, everything that comes with it. It's all that a little bit less this year, but I've witnessed it here for this U.S. Open, that's for sure. Just didn't figure at a soft speed, the way this table's been playing, that ball would hang. And what happens is you don't get enough energy to let it slide a little bit. There's that fine speed that kind of in between that opens the pocket.
Well, a couple of times on combinations on the 9. The 9 has only just about found its way to gravity. The 7 refused to drop.
Yeah, and maybe those falling may have led him or misled him into thinking, hey, this is easy. Gain something on the green 6, something proper. But yeah, if there's a hair more speed there, that ball falls.
What a gift for you.
There's that fine speed that, of course, the title, everything that comes with it. It's all that a little bit. Hey, this is easy. Play there. Good thing for him, the 8 goes up by the 9, so he's got some options. But I thought he'd be at least a foot closer to the 6, and he's definitely off angle. I'm drawing this ball. He's taking the cut. I'm surprised he didn't look at going forward, because the 8 definitely passed the 9 to the lower left. There's always drama, huh, Phil? Never ends.
Joshua Filler is a great player, and I use that word advisedly. A true all-time great. But he's not been great tonight. And that's why he is susceptible now to defeat, especially if this 9 goes down the lengthy rail and drops in. does. Aloysius Yap, 9-6, 3 up, possible 4 to play. Welcome back to Harrah's Resort and Casino in Atlantic City, where it looks very likely at the moment we are going to have at least one Asian finalist in this live SB.io US Open. And the reason for that, Aloysius Yap on the hill against Joshua Filler at 9-6, breaking.
Our current score is 9-6 in favor of Mr. Yap. Mr. Yap to break on the hill.
And also on table 3, I can tell you, despite scratching in the 4th rack, Køpen won it anyway to lead Denis Grabe 4-0.
You know, it's funny, earlier on the break between sessions, I'm walking down the hallway. Oh, he's missed the one and lost the cue ball. Real thin there, it looked like. Last thing you want to do on your last break is lose the rock. Gonna have an interesting position on the 2 to get to the 4, though. Yeah, way thin. Was no kiss there. That one was on Aloysius. But what I was getting at on the break between sessions, walking down the hall, and I see Denis Grabe. Bags packed. He's rolling on with the luggage and everything else. Last I looked, he was up 9-3. I said, no way you lost that match. He said, no, I got to recheck in since I won that match. It was due to fly out tonight, I think.
Well, Køpen's in for 5-0. Maybe mentally, Grabe is going to check out anyway.
Yeah, I like this choice by Josh. Just get to the center and cut the 2, and then use the purple to slow the cue ball down. Plays real natural. Maybe would have wanted to get a hair closer to the 2, but shouldn't be a major problem. If you watch Købing as he's hitting center cut on the pocket, very confident in what he's doing at the moment.
For all his mistakes in this match, and there have been more than is customary, do not write off Joshua Filler. Do so at your peril.
Doesn't want to be straight. Really good at kind of forcing the cue ball out. Best stunner of the ball I've ever watched, him and Fedor Gorst. Probably comes back short side, similar to the 8-9 earlier.
Looks like the fun is set to continue. He does not surrender easily. As Jeremy mentioned, he was 7-5 down to Chang Yulong, won that one 9-7, winning 4 on the trot. Needs 4 on the trot in this one. Now it's 3 in a row required. On the other table, it is entirely one-way traffic. Købing 5-0 up on Denis Grabe. And every time you look over at this table, Købing is at the table.
Yeah, you read my mind. I haven't seen Denis really strike the cue ball once. This is a push-out situation. Købing, one of the best in the push-out, I think.
Bear in mind, Grabe beat the world 9-ball champion Carlo Biardo 10-3 in the last 64. Then he overcame John Morra 10-1. And then beat Wu Kun Lin 10-6 this afternoon. He's been in great form.
Yeah, not letting off the gas. It's just a matter of getting into the driver's seat for him. It's been all Købing here in this match so far. I like to see the balls pocketed. Stat, that one always interests me. There's the jump cue. Probably going at that purple 5.
Rack number 17, our current score is 9-7 in favor of Mr. Filler to break.
We'll get back to that. I'm sure, though, you want to see how this break works out. Filler does.
He's going to get a good look. He's a little thin on the 2, but not bad. He's in a great position. By the way, Købing did knock in that jump shot on the 2-5. Rolling over there on table number 3.
This looks like a one-shot rack to me.
Yeah, I don't even think he has to dig. If he wanted to spin this, he could just roll it with right English, but to each his own, really. Balls out in the middle of the table, that being the 7, 8, 9. Those can get a little tricky at times later in the rack, but setting up to that looks very routine.
Well, we did see that cue ball deviate. He's lucky, actually. He would have been grossly unlucky had he scratched. Now look at this.
Yeah, right there. Starts to turn in just a hair. It wasn't bad, though, overall. And to be honest, I was kind of peculiar why he came back across and got on that side rail to play the pink, but he had other options. Just command the speed here.
Jumped above the shot, giving Aloysius Yap what proved to be false hope.
I noticed that as well. Just going to kill this.
Doesn't look any hope for Denis Grabe. He's 6-0 down. This had the look of a potential classic, and it's turning out that way. Maybe not in terms of quality, but certainly in terms of pure theatre in front of a full house. So, Jeremy, it's quite possible, considering the way Køpen is going, it's quite possible that we can have 2 quarters over on the other table completed before the second quarterfinal on this table begins.
Yeah, that's not something you see very often, but 2 guys that are in dead stroke, and I actually got the opportunities with the others not getting many opportunities. Just like Niels Fan, really haven't seen Denis do much wrong.
Let's see how this break works out. It's been hunky-dory so far. Jeremy, we'd stop a train.
You're exactly right. The locomotive gets stopped with the mics we hold, the words we say. And Denis dead snookered here. Now it's got to push out. Always a difficult situation, even more so when down 6-0 and you're playing a guy that looks like isn't going to miss a ball or miss a beat.
Number 8. Current score is 9-8 in favor of Mr. Yap. Mr. Filler to break.
The many fans of Joshua Filler, indeed the neutrals, will all want this to go hill-hill.
All right, the 2's going to be there. 2 is there. The 3 may be a hair odd if it doesn't. You can't ask for much more if you're Josh Filler.
Yeah, as I said before, 7-5 down to Chang Yulong. He looked susceptible, looked vulnerable to defeat, but he won 10-7. This, though, would top that in terms of brinkmanship.
Yeah, this is what I was wondering. The 3 didn't pass the 8. This combination's a hair odd. He's got to kind of ease it, I think, unless he's going to put a lot of speed, which you wouldn't think. 3 may drift towards the purple 5.
Combos to the side pockets are to be avoided unless absolutely necessary. Because of that.
Yeah, and that 3 did lean towards the purple 5, so Josh will get back to the table. Be a safety coming, but you know he's probably not going to like the situation. Nice look, gave him the side rail. Surprising here, giving him the same path that the 3 has taken. does he try to kick this in? If he does, watch out for the scratch in the upper right. Put some speed on this, I think. Yeah, like that. Maybe try and get fortunate. There's a pocket there. 5 and 6 have gotten in a nasty position on the left side, but there is a starter. Scratch in the upper right. So Josh.
Combos to the side pockets are to be avoided unless absolutely necessary. Because of that.
Try to kick this. Probably going to roll this in, come between the 9 and 4 with the cue ball. Ooh, kind of squeezed that home. Now this offers for a funny position shot. That's why I thought he may roll that and come out a little bit.
Did the hokey cokey on that one? Look at the movement. Everything was moving. Bridge hand, but it just about flopped in.
Now can you use the 8 as a bumper here? Can you get 2 cushions and go right into the 8 off the second cushion and hold for the purple? Looks pretty natural to me. Not saying you're going to go into it with a lot of speed, but why not use it if it's there? Oh, he's overhit this a little bit, so now he's going to have to work the rock. The problem is, where do you work it to? 7's kind of a little on the way, sounding back and forth. Could go a high ball, but then you'll be long distance on the 6. Can't really come back behind the 6 with the 9 there. Yeah, and was he just cinching that, I guess, to take the bank?
From the overhead view, it looked as though it might that. Used all of the pockets.
Yeah, just kind of curious. I mean, I feel like he's going to go for this bank shot to try and win this match. I really think he should, but he's hit it. Still not out of the woods. I think he can avoid the scratch, but sometimes when the cue ball's on your mind, you can overlook the object, and certainly can't afford that.
He's a winning machine, is Aloysius Yap. 2025 has been a simply golden, nay, a platinum year for him. 2 more balls for another notable victory.
Yeah, it's been scrappy, but scrappy's okay to get to the Final 4 of the U.S. Open. A good night's rest and try and bring your A game tomorrow.
Will not be capturing this title for a second time. 10-8 the final. What a match.
Yeah, the action continues to come thick and fast here at the Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City. Before the break, we saw Aloysius Yap down Josh Filler to make it through to yet another Open semi-final. Yap, of course, also beat Killer Filler en route to the final of this event in 2021. But we're going to turn our attention now to the SVB Junior Open, won by Jack Beggs, a player with composure beyond his years, a real rising star of the game. And there he is, receiving the trophy from Shane, a man who has won the US Open on 5 occasions. We're joined by Jack now, and of course Emily Fraser. Jack, we have to start. That winning 9-ball, when you potted it, what were the emotions that were going through your mind?
Yeah, I was pretty happy, but I mean, yeah, didn't really show much, but yeah, I was happy.
Yeah, and one thing that I've read about you, and I've seen it in action here at this Open, you always have composure in pressurized situations. Do you feel calm out there?
Yeah, I felt pretty calm out there, but my first match I wasn't really calm, but I mean, yeah, kind of got better throughout the tournament.
And what are the main things that you've learned from playing in events like this? Because look at the crowds you've got watching you.
I mean, it's just, you got to stay calm, and it just, results will come if you stay calm, so yeah.
And how much inspiration do you take from what other youngsters have gone on to do? Because Emily sees it as well. So many players who've played in these junior events go on to take part in things like the US Open, so you must take great inspiration from that.
Yeah, they're very inspirational, obviously, but it's like, just focus on the moment and work our way up from there.
Yeah, Emily, you must see players like this and be so excited about the future of 9-ball, because it is in very safe hands.
Yeah, like Jack's being very quiet here, but he actually beat his brother Sean in the semi-finals. Both of them have come over, and Jack is only 15 years of age, which is just incredible to play in a final like that in front of a crowd in that kind of arena. But he also played his brother. He beat his brother in the semis. I did say, did you have a little side bet on the side? You know, like whoever wins has to do doesn't get to do the dishes for like a week. Did you have anything like that with your brother?
No, it was just bragging rights, yeah.
Just bragging rights at home, right?
Has he spoken to you since that defeat?
Yeah, surprising.
But when you look at the facilities that these players have, you must be incredibly proud as well of what you're able to put on for these youngsters and for the next generation.
Of course, and it's all about building more junior events at these Opens, and to give players like Jack the opportunity to say, look, this is how good I am. I can join the main tour when I'm 16. And to have someone like Shane Van Boning watching your entire match, and he was sitting there, he's tapping the table, he's going great shot and things like that. So I just think it's brilliant for obviously these players and these juniors. And congratulations, Jack. Honestly, you had a great run here at this junior event, and I can't wait to see you on tour with us.
Yeah, just finally a word on that, because you've got Shane Van Boning, a man who's won the US Open 5 times, watching your match. You've also got other stars of the game playing on the tables next to you. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's like good, obviously. It's like to have good players watching you, and yeah.
Well, remember this name. His brother certainly will. I know that after the semi-final, of course. But let's have a look at the order of play. It's open. And confirmation that Joshua Filler, the European Open champion earlier this year, has gone down 10-8 to the winner of the last 2 Open events, Aloysius Yap. A 10-8 victory for Yap in that one. Coming up next, we do have the reigning and defending champion in Fedor Gorsk, Johan Chua, also through to the final day of action. A 10-2 victory for him over Niels Fayen. But Carl, we are going to start by talking about the have just seen Aloysius Yap. He just continues to go from strength to strength, doesn't he? Even in those matches where they get a little bit scrappy, he's finding a way to win.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're on this type of role. You know, if you look at Fedor Gorsk, he kind of dodged the match what he probably could have lost. I'm not saying Aloysius could have lost that one, but, you know, Filler at the end just missed that combo. Tricky combo, to be fair, and obviously Aloysius got the job done, and a real funny rack at the end to win the way he got out.
Yeah, Filler missing that combo in rack 15. That felt like a huge turning point in the contest, but also he really struggled with the conditions, didn't he, at times? You could see the ball rolling off, and he didn't really get to grips with that.
Yeah, well, me and Scott was in the back room watching it on the TV, and when it showed the replay, the ball didn't actually look like it rolled off. So I think Josh, sometimes, you know, these pros were looking for that excuse on page 1
You
hour.
never would have.
No, but it looked pretty straight to us anyway. But listen, just a tough match. Listen, when you get to this stage of a tournament and when these guys are meeting each other, it's just so tough to win. And you know, we've seen it a few times now, 2 brilliant matches, but listen, at the end of the day, this is a great advert for 9-ball pool. This is what can happen. So exciting.
Yeah, and talking about the table, the way it's playing and the conditions that we have, someone who struggled with that a little earlier on today as well was Fedor Gorst at times. You could see him berating himself in his seat. He was 4-0 down, he was 9-6 down. Again, another player, winners just find a way.
Bottle, that's what Fedor has got. He's got bottle in them big situations when it looks like he's going to get beat or he might get beat, he finds a way. But listen, you know, everyone's talking about Zielinski, he could have won, he didn't get out. You know, I'm walking through like the vendors section and speaking to all the fans, oh, how did he win that match or how did he lose it? And you're thinking, well, what they don't realise is when you're out here and you're walking around the table, you've still got to pot the balls, and nobody's doing it better than Fedor Gorst under the gun.
You mentioned Bottle, his opponent here this evening, Michael Bohan, and you can see him practicing behind us right now, come through 2 hill matches in order to book his spot here. We've learned a lot about him and his resolve this week.
Yeah, I mean, another guy who, you know, comes from the Philippines. Beautiful place to go. Obviously, we've been there, Abby, haven't we? And, you know, the pool players, the strongest country in the world for depth. When you talk about, you know, pool players that we don't know, they just play unbelievable. And he's another Filipino, beautiful smile, always smiling, and why wouldn't you be? And he's having a great week, but he's got a tough match, obviously.
Yeah, we've also got another match currently underway. Kopinyi, a very dominant display so far. Unsurprising, really, given what we saw from him this afternoon.
Yeah, listen, you know, his brother's won this tournament. Kopinyi has won the World Championships. He's not lifted this one. It's just so tough to pick a winner. You know, we keep getting asked, who do you think is going to win it? People are asking me behind the sitting on the fence. I have no clue. This is the match going on right now. Grabe's at the table, but he's 7-1 down.
Yeah, and when you are 7-1 down to someone like Kopinyi, we saw it with Jason Shaw earlier on today, didn't we, in the last 16. It's so difficult to find a way back into the contest because Kopinyi, he just doesn't make those errors to allow you back in.
Yeah, and you're the one under pressure then, so even like these 6 balls here that he's got to knock in, you know, these are the ones where, you know, if you're 7-1 up, you just don't miss, you get out, you're 8-1. But now everything's going to seem a lot harder for Grabe. But listen, you know, he's had a great week and he's had some big wins. He knocked out the world champ.
Yeah, and coming back to the match that we're about to watch, when it comes to Fedor Gorst, he said after his last match that he was going to be re-watching what happened in the last 16. He was going to have a look at what went wrong, what went right. Do you think that's the right thing, or do you think it's better to just block it out of your mind? Yeah, just block it out. I'm just stood right here, and we kind of feel like we're in the way of his practice rack here, but this is great, this. I'd like to commentate from here, Abby, to be fair. Crack on. Crack on. He's got a tough 7-ball to rail. He nails it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have got Fedor Gorst back in action next. I just want another word, Carl, on that match, and just how impressive it would be if he was able to go back-to-back. Of course, last year he completed the Gorst Slam. If he was able to go back-to-back, how impressive would that be? I mean, listen, this is starting to get a bit silly, isn't it? He's gone back-to-back in the World Championships. He's gone back-to-back in US Opens. He's trying to get to a 3rd final. That would be 5 finals in the 2 biggest tournaments we have in the sport. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, and just making the quarter-final of this event in 4 of the last 5 years as well. It is such an incredibly difficult tournament to win, so to be able to go on and do that, that just shows how good a player he is. Yeah, he's just, you know, said it before, you know, he's got bottle. The other thing he does, Fedor Gorst, very well is he seems to play the right shot at the right time, which is not easy. You know, I've been out there over the years, and you can be forgiven for taking on a bit of a flyer, a bit of a difficult shot, thinking, well, if I nail it, you know, I'm going to win, the crowd's on my side. He's got the ability to just rein it in a little bit. He'll play the right safety shot at the right time, where others might fly at a bank or something a little bit crazy. Yeah, and do you feel when he shows that frustration in moments like he did this afternoon, it kind of benefits him? Some players, you feel, they'd get a little bit more bogged down, but he almost needs that. He needs to release it. Well, his practice rack, he's just made a golden break. That's why all the crowd's cheering. Well, the match has not started just yet, but that's not the worst start in your practice rack. But listen, he'll just knock the balls around. He had a little smile. It's actually a real cool character, is Fedor. You know, behind the scenes, we have a bit of a laugh and a joke with him. Nice guy. But listen, it's all business. Once he's knocked these balls in, it's another big match that he's got to play on the main table. Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't ask the referee if that could count, and that could be the first rack of the match. But I think as Fedor continues to go through his final preparations, we can now head over to Scott Frost in commentary. Carl Boys is going to rush over to join him for this final match on the TV table to see whether the world #1 and the reigning champion can book his spot in the semi-final and the final day of action here at the 2025 US Open.
Yeah, thank you very much, Abby. As we watch Fedor Gorst practice, just had the golden break. Yeah, he might have liked to have saved that one for the match. Two hill-hill matches from Michael Bohannon. Ended up beating Atencio 10-9. And then also ended up, yeah, I think it was Atencio, and who was the last guy he played, Carl? It was 10-9. We'll get that for you. But he won the last 2 matches, 10 games to 9, which is hill-hill, obviously. And that's kind of living on the edge. You got to wonder what that'll do to you over time.
Duong Quoc Quang it was, wasn't it?
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, Bohannon was 5-0 up against Duong. Seems like it was about a week ago, but it was earlier on this afternoon.
Yeah, and you just got to wonder physically. I mean, it's pretty draining, we know, when you win those hill-hill matches, but not just 1, now 2. Anything can happen, but obviously Gorst favored in this match. It's a race to 10, and this guy's up for it.
This might sound a little silly, but I've not really seen Michael play much pool.
Yeah, when I did the interview, I asked him where he came from. I said, I don't know, where have you come from?
Yeah, I watched, you know, the last rack against Duong. I was in the arena last night against Atencio. I was stood rather really close to the table. It was a phenomenal atmosphere. You actually texted me, Scott, saying, where are you, Carl? I said, oh,
thank you. The first
watching the final rack. All the Filipinos were there. It was a beautiful ending to the match, and he knocked a really good finish, and he's got a lot of bottles. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Let's see what his break is like. He breaks a little bit more to the center, so that tells me he's gonna break a little bit like what Jason Shaw does. Well, that's going to need to have to improve.
John Fedor just said that was hard enough with a question mark.
Right, this is for me to discuss with him.
Involved early on, not even chalked his cue yet.
Yeah, that'll go on the socials.
Yeah, we have a bit of an unwritten rule in the sport where it's like a bit of a gentleman's agreement where the players have to use a forceful break. Always causes a little bit of controversy. I think Fedor's well within his rights to ask, though. I mean, Ben Taylor Fuente was having none of it.
I don't know, it was just a weird break, actually. I didn't feel like he hit him too soft, but the 1 caught the point. Could it have gotten past the head string? I don't know. 3 didn't make it. Just kind of an odd break. And Fedor Gorst, obviously, I don't know. I think he and SVB are the best in the world at the rollout.
Yeah, that was not a good rollout, though, was it? When you just left that type of shot, all he did was stun the cue ball a couple of rails.
Extension call.
In fairness, I think Fedor was trying to tie the 2 ball up as well. I think he just missed.
Yeah, and I think he was trying to have a little thinner on the 1 also. Wow, look at how close this is. He's got a double jump. It's going to be close to landing on the 1. I'm sure it will hop prior to it.
he's rolling good. He's rolling very good.
Extension call.
Is he looking at the 2-rail line here? I think you've just got to go 1 rail, of course. He's elevating, so he's going to have to spin this a little, or is he just pounding it? Watch out, upper right.
Did the point help him as it saved him? Don't know if Fedor can get through to this without a little bit of spin. He doesn't seem too concerned, does he? Not easy though. I think if he pots it, can he come underneath the pink 4 through the gap?
Yeah, he's going to have to put some speed on it. Doesn't want any variations coming off, so he wants to put pace. Okay, table holding up a little bit. Caught that just a tick thin. And that's all due to the speed at which he hit it. Get over for the blue 2, which he wasn't even on, I don't think. Well, this isn't easy no matter what. At 7, a huge ball if you do make this.
It's a good shot and seemed to hit it without any time left. It was right on the buzzer.
Here's another look. Just caught the rail first, and I think that's what's landing on the 2. This is just as difficult as the last one. How used to the buzzer is he, Carl? Probably not very, if any.
Yeah, first match out here for Michael. And after seeing the opening few shots of this rack, I kind of get the feeling the start is very important for the Filipino. Got away with one though.
He's got the thin look here.
It's actually a really good effort from what he was attempting. Trying to get behind the green 6 and use the pink 4 for the hook.
Yeah, can you avoid the 8? Or do you want to go into it? Yeah, you can get in between them. That's even better. Still a lot of work to do. 7 ball. Can you split the gap between the 8 and 5? Back and forth. Tell you what, there's a real good strike right there. Obviously, the longer this goes, if he stays in control, the more comfortable he will get. He was extremely nervous his last match versus Guang Huaquang. Yeah, you're better to stay above the 6 here. Obviously going to go 1 rail back down. Just don't want to fall below it. Oh, he's all right to come all the way down here. No problem. Elevating a little bit. The upper right a problem.
He's fluked it. He's all over the show in rack one, but boy, the pool gods have looked after. Look at this one. How do you find that? You could stay there for the next 2 years and not pull that shot off.
Yeah, he's overcut it as well. We just touched his net plate on this table, so maybe the cloth a little slicker than the outside tables due to the overcut there that we just saw.
Thing is, Scott, you know, you've been in these matches and, you know, let's say Gorst does go on to lose this opening round, which looks likely. He'll be kind of happy sat in his chair, having seen a few wild swipes from his opponent.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you Gorst, one of the greats at feeling tension as well from his opponent, so there's definitely no mistaking. Michael is a little bit nervous. He's not been in this situation, what I know of, ever. Doesn't mean he can't do it, Carl. We know he can. We know, as you say, how fickle this game is.
Watch his back arm here on delivery. Yeah, he's got this crazy backswing. And it was a crazy first rack. But the Filipino takes it. It's 1-0.
That's good.
What a beautiful arena we have here in Atlantic City. You can see the setting. We have the main table. Then we have the 3 tables at the back. Well, his world 9-ball tour ranking will be moving up. He won't stay on 77 for long. Got to the last 16 12 months ago.
You're a really funny guy. Had a good talk with him after the match. Doesn't speak great English, but actually a huge sense of humor. Everything he said was comical.
Had a beautiful smile as well. The world #1 is Fedor Gorst. The winner 12 months ago was the runner-up
Michael Bowen into break.
2 years ago. Let's pay attention to the pace of the break. The referee, Ben, will be. Also, Fedor Gorst will be.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly hard, was it, that hit?
No, but let's just have a look at the balls. 2-ball was going to go up table, but it got stopped. Sometimes the balls can look a little like sort of clunky and they all just end up here, but then when you see the replay, a couple of them kind of get kicked and stopped from going up the table.
But it also looks like he is trying to put a lot into it, so yeah, a little bit misleading. This does play to the lower right. I don't know if you can stay below the 8 here. Wouldn't be a problem going into the pink 4. Yeah, and that's ideal. This is laid up and opened everything up. This angle looks quite a bit steeper. No problem. just kind of get the feeling like he's going to need, or I think we have the feeling he's going to need a 3 or 4 game lead to really start this out for some reason. But maybe he gets comfortable as he goes forward. Real comfortable. Never know. You could stay below the 8 here, shooting the 7. Probably smart not to flirt with the 9.
Extension call.
See that pump you're talking about in the backhand?
Yeah, as this match unfolds, we'll get a good look at the delivery of the cue as he pulls it back before impact. He'll probably play the 8 ball up the long rail. He's overhit this somewhat. Okay. He'll still play it up in the corner. It's going into a generous pocket from this angle.
Just feels like any time the buzzer's at play, he's a little off.
Right on the money again, right on the last beat. Break and run in the second round to Michael.
I'm calling it.
Scott, obviously we've just heard Aloysius talk about the table, obviously.
Extension.
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 Thank you.